Let me tell you something. Success ain't magic. It's not a trick. It's a habit. You don't get what you want in life just because you wish for it. You get it because you show up for it. Every single day. Your mind is the most powerful muscle you got, but if you don't train it, it will work against you. Cornet Tills. You can't wake up every morning waiting to feel like it. If you wait on feelings, you're gonna spend your whole life waiting. Winners don't show up because they feel motivated. They show up because they made a decision. You gotta train your mind the way an athlete trains his body. When you wake up and don't feel like working, push yourself. When life knocks you down, stand up anyway. Keep showing up. Why? Because consistency beats talent every time. Every day you don't show up, you're building the wrong habit. You're teaching your mind it's okay to quit. When you show up, even on the hard days, you build a different kind of muscle, the muscle of discipline. And discipline, that's what separates the dreamers from the doers. Let me tell you something powerful. Your life will change the moment you stop negotiating with your excuses. Train your mind to say, I don't care how I feel, I'm showing up anyway. Do that long enough, and one day you'll look back and realize all those little days of showing up became the life you prayed for. You don't need everything to be perfect. You don't need all the answers. You just need to show up today. Show up tomorrow and keep showing up until you become the person you were meant to be. Consistency beats talent. Let me break that down for you. Most people think talent is everything. They believe that if someone is born gifted or naturally skilled, they automatically have the upper hand. But that's not how life works. Talent might give you a head start, but consistency is what makes you cross the finish line. I've seen so many people with extraordinary gifts never make it, simply because they couldn't stay committed. They show up when they feel like it, but success doesn't wait on your feelings. Success rewards the people who show up every single day, even when the world tells them to quit. Consistency is like planting a seed. You don't plant a seed today and expect a tree tomorrow. You water it, nurture it, and protect it day after day. That's how life works. The people you see living the life you want, the ones with the big houses, the dream careers, the financial freedom, they're not just talented. They trained themselves to be consistent when nobody was watching. They kept showing up when it was boring, when it was hard, when it felt like nothing was happening. They trusted the process, and the process rewarded them. See, the problem with most people is they give up too quickly. They want overnight success, instant results, and quick wins. But anything worth having is worth grinding for. When you're consistent, you create momentum, and momentum is powerful. It's like pushing a heavy car. At first, it feels impossible. But when you keep pushing every day, little by little, the car starts to roll. Before you know it, it's moving on its own because of the energy you've built. That's what consistency does for your dreams. You might look at someone and think, they're so lucky. No, they're not lucky. They're consistent. While you were sleeping, they were working. While you were making excuses, they were building habits. And those habits became a lifestyle. Talent without consistency is wasted potential. I'd take a consistent person with average talent over a lazy genius any day. Because the consistent person will outwork, outlast, and outgrow the talented one who refuses to show up. Life will test you. There will be days when you're tired, when you feel like nothing's working, when you feel like quitting. That's when consistency matters the most. Anybody can show up when they're motivated, but very few show up when they're exhausted, broke, or discouraged. That's what separates the winners from the rest. You can't rely on motivation because motivation fades. You need discipline, and discipline is built through showing up every single day, no matter what. Let me tell you this. Success is not about doing something huge one time. It's about doing something small over and over until it becomes huge. It's about waking up and saying, I might not feel like it, but I'm going to take one more step today. That one step every day builds the kind of momentum that changes lives. Consistency turns ordinary people into extraordinary ones. It's not glamorous, it's not flashy, but it's powerful. Think about this. If you go to the gym one time, nothing changes. But if you go every day for 6 months, your body transforms. If you save $1 a day, it's nothing. But save it every day for years and you've got wealth. That's how life works. Small actions, done consistently, create massive results. People see the success, but they don't see the boring, repetitive work behind it. They don't see the early mornings, the late nights, the sacrifices. But that's what consistency is. It's doing what needs to be done, even when nobody's clapping for you. So don't worry if you're not the most talented, the smartest, or the fastest. You don't have to be. All you have to do is keep showing up, keep putting in the work when others quit. Keep training your mind to push past comfort. That's how you win. Because at the end of the day, consistency will always beat talent when talent refuses to work. Building the right habits is the foundation of every success story. Your habits will either carry you to your goals or drag you away from them. The truth is, success is not about what you do once in a while. It's about what you do every single day without fail. Most people think that big achievements come from big actions, but that's not true. Big achievements come from small, consistent habits that compound over time. If you want to change your life, you have to start by changing what you do daily. Every habit you have is shaping your future, whether you realize it or not. The way you spend your mornings, how you handle your evenings, the choices you make when nobody's watching, these things are building your destiny. If your habits are lazy, your future will reflect that. If your habits are disciplined, success will have no choice but to show up. Habits are like seeds. Plant the right ones and they will grow into something beautiful. But if you plant bad habits or worse, no habits at all, you'll end up with nothing but weeds. The hard part is building the right habits takes time and effort. You can't just decide one day to change and expect everything to be perfect. You have to train yourself. At first, it's uncomfortable. Your mind and body will fight you because they're used to the old routine. You might not feel like waking up early, working out, or reading that book, but you do it anyway. Why? Because every time you push through the resistance, you're building strength. Every time you choose a good habit over a bad one, you're shaping the person you want to become. Habits are powerful because they don't require motivation once they're built. Think about brushing your teeth. You don't need motivation to do that because it's part of your routine. Success habits work the same way. Once you train yourself to do the right things daily, like planning your day, working on your goals, improving your skills, it becomes automatic. And when success habits become automatic, your life changes without you even realizing it. The key is to start small. Too many people fail because they try to change everything overnight. You don't need to do that. Start with one small habit that will push your life forward and commit to it. Maybe it's waking up 30 minutes earlier. Maybe it's reading 10 pages of a good book every night. Maybe it's writing down your goals every morning. Whatever it is, start there and build on it. Small wins create momentum, and momentum is unstoppable. But here's something important. You can't just add good habits. You also have to cut out the bad ones. Your bad habits are like anchors pulling you back. Scrolling on your phone for hours, wasting time on meaningless things, hanging around negative people. These habits will destroy your progress. You have to replace them with habits that feed your growth. For every bad habit you remove, you create space for a good one to grow. The difference between successful people and everyone else is not luck or talent. It's the habits they live by. Successful people have habits of discipline, focus, and growth. They don't waste their mornings sleeping in. They don't spend their evenings complaining. They use every day as an opportunity to move closer to their vision. You can have the same success if you're willing to build the same kind of habits. Your future self is watching the choices you make today. And 10 years from now, you'll either thank yourself or regret yourself, depending on the habits you built. So start now. Train your mind to choose the habits that build your dreams, not the habits that kill. It won't be easy, but once you build the right habits, success won't just be possible. It will be inevitable. Stop negotiating with excuses. This is one of the biggest keys to success. Excuses are nothing but lies we tell ourselves to feel comfortable. Oh, they sound reasonable. They sound convincing, but they are nothing more than traps. Every time you give an excuse, you're choosing comfort over progress. You're saying, I don't want to do the hard thing. I don't want to face the challenge. And that's how dreams die. Slowly, one excuse at a time. You see, your mind will always find a reason not to do something. It will say, I'm tired. I don't have time. I'm not ready. I'll start tomorrow. Let me tell you something. Tomorrow is not promised. Every day you wait, every day you delay is a day you can never get back. Successful people don't entertain excuses. They don't give themselves an option to quit. They understand that excuses don't pay bills, excuses don't build businesses, and excuses don't create legacies. Action does. The truth is, excuses are easy. Anybody can find a reason not to do something. But the problem with excuses is that they become a habit. The more you use them, the more you believe them. You start convincing yourself that your situation is too hard, that life is unfair, that you can't make it because of your past. But here's the reality. Your excuses are only as strong as you allow them to be. Once you stop negotiating with them, they lose all their power. There's always someone out there with less than you who is doing more than you. Think about that. There's someone who started with nothing, who had every reason to give up, but they didn't. They refused to accept excuses, and that's why they're winning. Meanwhile, too many people with all the tools, all the opportunities, and all the potential throw it away because they let excuses control their lives. You can't let that be you. Excuses keep you stuck. They give you a false sense of comfort, but they rob you of growth. You can't grow if you're constantly finding reasons not to move forward. Growth happens when you take responsibility for your life. The moment you stop blaming your circumstances, your past, or other people, you take back your power. You start asking, what can I do to fix this? How can I show up differently? That's the mindset that changes everything. Here's the thing. When you negotiate with excuses, you're negotiating with your dreams. Every time you say, I'll do it later, you're pushing your dream further and further away. Success doesn't come to people who wait for the perfect time or the perfect mood. Success comes to people who take action, even when they're scared, tired, or uncertain. If you keep waiting for things to feel easy, you'll wait forever. The secret is to decide. Decide that no excuse is good enough to stop you. Decide that no matter what happens, you're going to show up. Decide that your dreams are bigger than your excuses. Once you make that decision, you'll be unstoppable. The excuses will still show up. They never go away completely, but you'll be stronger than them. You'll hear them, and you'll keep moving anyway. At the end of the day, you have two choices. Make excuses or make progress. You can't do both. Life will reward you based on the action you take, not the reasons you come up with for why you didn't try. So stop negotiating with your excuses. Stop letting them run your life. Start showing up, start pushing forward, and watch how your entire life transforms when excuses are no longer an option. Small efforts create big results. This is one of the greatest truths in life, yet most people overlook it. Everyone wants the big win, the overnight success, the life-changing breakthrough, but very few are willing to put in the small, consistent efforts that lead to those breakthroughs. Success is never built in one giant leap. It's built in the little steps you take every single day, the ones that don't look like they're making a difference at first. But over time, they add up and transform your life. Think about how water shapes rock. It's not one big splash that carves a canyon. It's the constant drip, drip, drip over thousands of years that creates something incredible. The same principle applies to your life. Every small effort, every little bit of work you do, every choice you make, those are the drops that shape your future. The reason most people fail is because they quit before they see the results. They think their small actions don't matter. But let me tell you, they matter more than you could ever imagine. You don't get in shape by going to the gym one time. You don't build wealth by saving money for 1 week. You don't master a skill by practicing once in a while. It's the small daily efforts, the ones that nobody sees, that make all the difference. When you commit to doing something consistently, no matter how small it is, it compounds over time. That's the power of small efforts. They multiply. The problem is, people are impatient. They want to plant a seed today and see a tree tomorrow. When they don't see quick results, they give up. But success doesn't work on your timeline. It works on the timeline of persistence. You have to trust that the little things you're doing today will pay off tomorrow, even if it feels like nothing's happening right now. It's like pushing a snowball. At first, it's tiny, but the more you push, the bigger it gets. Before you know it, that little snowball becomes an avalanche. Small efforts also build habits. When you take a small step every day, you train your mind to show up without excuses. You're telling yourself, I'm committed, I'm in this for the long run. Over time, these small efforts become second nature. They stop feeling like work and start becoming part of who you are. And when that happens, success becomes inevitable. Think about the people you admire, the athletes, the entrepreneurs, the leaders. They didn't become great because of one big effort. They became great because they were willing to do the little things over and over again. Even when no one was watching, they practiced when others were resting. They studied when others were distracted. They took the small steps that most people ignored. And that's why they're living the life that most people only dream about. The beautiful thing about small efforts is that anyone can start them. You don't need a lot of money, you don't need special talent, and you don't need perfect timing. All you need is the willingness to start and the discipline to keep going. Wake up a little earlier. Read a few pages of a good book. Take one step toward your goal today. It might not seem like much, but if you keep stacking those small efforts day after day, you'll be amazed at how far you've come in a year. Remember this, small efforts might look invisible today, but one day they'll be undeniable. You'll look back and realize that every little thing you did built the big success you were chasing. So, don't underestimate the power of the small. Keep going, keep building, and trust the process. Because small efforts, done consistently, will always create big results. Discipline over feelings, that's where real success lives. See, your feelings will lie to you every single day. Yeah. Your feelings will tell you to stay in bed. You're tired. You don't need to do it today. Your feelings will convince you to take shortcuts, to skip the hard work, to avoid the grind. But discipline doesn't care how you feel. Discipline tells you to get up, show up, do it anyway. And if you want to achieve anything big in life, you've got to learn to stop listening to your feelings and start obeying your discipline. Most people lose because they are slaves to their emotions. They wake up and say, I don't feel motivated today. Let me tell you something. Motivation is overrated. Motivation is like a visitor. It comes and goes. But discipline, that's your best friend. Discipline will carry you when motivation disappears. Discipline will get you up at 5 a.m. when your body wants to sleep. Discipline will make you put in the work, even when your mind is full of excuses. The people who win in life aren't the ones who will feel like it. They're the ones who do it, whether they feel like it or not. Discipline is about making a decision and sticking to it, no matter what. It's telling yourself, I made a promise to myself, and I refuse to break it. When you live with discipline, you don't negotiate with your goals. You don't say, I'll do it tomorrow, or wait until I'm in the mood. You understand that every time you give in to your feelings, you're taking a step backward. Every time you choose discipline, you're building a stronger, more unstoppable version of yourself. Here's the truth. Life doesn't care about your feelings. Success doesn't care if you're tired, if you're sad, or if you're not in the mood. It only rewards action. The world will not give you anything because you will feel like you deserve it. You have to earn it with effort, sweat, and consistency. And that's why discipline is so powerful. It keeps you moving forward when everything inside you wants to stop. Think of athletes. Do you think they always feel like training? No, but they do it anyway. Why? Because they know that feelings don't win championships. Discipline does. That's why they practice day in and day out, even when they're sore, tired, or frustrated. They understand that every single rep, every single lap, every single practice session is a deposit in their future success bank. And one day, all that disciplined effort pays off. Your feelings are temporary. They can change in seconds. One moment you're fired up, the next you want to quit. But discipline is stable, steady, and unshakable. It's the voice that says, I don't care how I feel. I'm going to keep going. And when you train your mind to listen to that voice instead of your feelings, you become unstoppable. Let me be real with you. Discipline is not easy. It's not supposed to be. If it were easy, everyone would be successful. But here's the thing. Discipline doesn't just build success, it builds character. It teaches you to endure discomfort, to push through pain, and to do what others won't. When you live with discipline, you start to respect yourself more, because you know you can trust yourself. You know that when you say you'll do something, you will. The difference between the person who wins and the person who quits is simple. One chose discipline, the other chose feelings. If you can learn to show up when you're tired, to keep working when you're not motivated, and to push forward when it's hard, nothing can stop you. You'll outlast everyone who only works when it's convenient. Your life will change when you stop asking, do I feel like it? And start saying, I'll do it anyway. Feelings fade, but discipline creates a legacy. You'll look back one day and realize that every time you push past your feelings, you built the life you were dreaming about. That's the power of discipline. It gives you freedom, success, and pride. Show up even on hard days. This is where the real difference is made. Anybody can show up when life feels good, when the sun is shining, when they're motivated and excited. But the truth is, those easy days don't define you. It's the hard days when you're tired, when you feel like quitting, when nothing seems to be working, that shape your future. Those are the days that test your character, your strength, and your determination. And if you can learn to show up on those days, you'll be unstoppable. Hard days are a part of life. You can't avoid them. No matter how strong, talented, or smart you are, you will face challenges. There will be days when everything feels like it's falling apart, when your plan doesn't work, when you feel like the world is against you. Most people use these moments as an excuse to stop. They think, it's too hard today, I'll try again tomorrow. But winners don't think like that. Winners say, it's hard, but I'm going to do it anyway. I'll figure it out. I'll keep moving. That mindset is what sets them apart. When you show up on your hard days, something powerful happens. You start to build mental toughness. You prove to yourself that you're stronger than your excuses, stronger than your feelings, and stronger than your circumstances. Every time you push through when you don't feel like it, you get stronger. And that strength carries over into every area of your life. It's not just about getting through one tough day. It's about building the resilience to get through any tough day that comes your way. You have to understand something. Hard days are not there to break you. They're there to make you. The challenges you face are building your story. They're shaping your character and teaching you the lessons you need to succeed. If everything was easy, you'd never grow. You'd never learn. You'd never become the person you were meant to be. It's in the struggle where the magic happens. It's in the tough moments where greatness is born. Most people wait until they feel ready to take action. But let me tell you, you'll never feel ready on the hard days. Your feelings will always tell you to stop, to rest, to wait. That's why you can't depend on feelings. You have to depend on commitment. You have to decide that no matter how hard it gets, you will show up. You will keep going. You will do what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. That's the kind of mindset that creates champions. The hard days are where you separate yourself from the rest. Think about it. Everyone works hard when it's easy. Everyone puts in effort when they're feeling good. But very few people push through when it's tough. That's why so few succeed. If you can be the person who shows up when others quit, you'll rise to a level that most people will never reach. You'll outlast them because you refuse to give up when things got difficult. Sometimes showing up on a hard day doesn't mean doing everything perfectly. It just means taking one step forward. It means doing something, no matter how small, to keep the momentum alive. You don't have to conquer the world in one day. You just have to keep moving. Even a small effort on a hard day is better than doing nothing. It's a reminder to yourself that you don't quit, that you're in this for the long haul. One day, you'll look back on the hard days and realize they were the turning points. They were the moments that defined your journey. They were the days when you could have quit, but you didn't. And because you didn't, you became stronger, wiser, and more resilient than you ever thought possible. So, don't run from the hard days. Don't fear them. Embrace them. Use them as fuel. Tell yourself, this is where I grow. This is where I prove to myself who I really am. And then, no matter how tough it gets, show up. Because the person who shows up on the hard days is the one who will win in the end.